Hi there, welcome to our program Bitcoin Daily, where we cover the main cryptocurrencies, their technologies, the first steps of who are entering this market, what's going on in the market, and of course, what's going on in the news. In this episode of today, Les Marchés, we will cover with you the main stock market of United States index, SP 500, the dollar index, the yield of the 10-year bonds of the United States Treasury, and of course Bitcoin in tether. So we'll wrap this together. Stay tuned, we're starting right now. In the first chart we see the SP 500 as shown here in the trading view tool. If you don't know it, try it. We don't have any commitment with them, we just use it ourselves. We see here we broke the resistance and now we are in new top highs. Okay, so we weren't expected that. We thought that the resistance will remain. It didn't. Now if we continue projecting where this might lead us to, we see here in the weekly chart how it has been growing. And what was the origin of this growth? It is debt. Why? Because the majority buyer of the stocks is not institutional investor, is not a retail investor, it's not individual, it is the own corporations buying their own stocks. With what money? Borrowed money. Money borrowed from where? From the banks. So here it is. We project that this event might continue, and if the past is a guide for the future, we see here each 2 to 3 months we have a new peak which is between 60 and 120 points above the previous one. So projecting this in a line, we see here that from March to May 2020 we'll have another peak which will be in 3080, 3120, in between this range from 3180 to 3120 between March and May. That's the next, and in our view, the last peak. Now, so why is that going on? Because there is more money, and that money is borrowed by the companies that buy their own stock. The problem is, as you print more money, the dollar devaluates. So by now, this devaluation, as we see here in the dollar index, as it is devaluating, that means more money is in existence, but this money is transferred to the companies to buy their own stocks. It's not in the economy. Now, when this money circulates in the economy, and that shall be, it goes there, it takes some time. Then we have something called inflation. Of course, some argue, and correctly, that the definition of inflation is expansion of the monetary base, which is already happening. But when it manifests in prices, that's the real inflation that everyday people see, and that's not yet there as by the government indexes that of course are made to mask the inflation itself. So what we see here happening, we see here the dollar index falling, and we see it falling till 94 points and later on till 88. Now how long it will take there, we don't know, but if we can use the past as an example, we see here how quickly it went from 89, 90 till 97, 96. So we see here more or less the same approach. That's about 6 months from the last peak. That will take us again till May. So by May, we believe the dollar index will be around 90, 89 points, which means that compared to a basket of international currencies, the dollar will lose value. Now, where does that manifest? Here we have the yield of the 10-year bond, 10-year note issued by the United States Treasury, and that is ramping up, testing here the downtrend line, and we believe that will be breached once inflation picks up. Where is it right now? Where the core CPI, according to sources, is 2.4 year over year. And that's a signal, and that should replicate on the yields that will push them higher. Once this happens, that's stock market negative. So by now, more money is stock market positive. But since we'll have a raise in the yields of the bonds, then that becomes stock market negative because the yield, the bond market competes with the stock market in earnings, and that will push sales of those stocks, and the money will flow, and it's already flowing in out of equity funds and in bond funds. So let's see how it develops if it continues like that. And finally, we have here Bitcoin in Tether, the most liquid pair of cryptocurrencies. And here we have prices from Binance, and we have been following this for long, and there was a trend line, downtrend line here that was invincible so far and was broken recently in this last move up, and we believe this is enough to stabilize the prices above 9K and will push them higher. So the new trend up will be confirmed in our view once we see prices entering the 10,500 range up. So that cross will be the confirmation of an uptrend, and that's it for the prices. It's gonna go up, and that's our view so far. Of course, we can have retracement, we can move back again, we can test again this downtrend line, but that, as far as we remain above 8,700, that's it. We're still going up in the long run. So thank you very much for your audience. Remain with us. That was all for this episode. Sign up to our channel. We're gonna get more frequent videos in English, and that's it. Happy to see you here. Bye.